Hello everyone, it's Yogi here. I hope you're well. It's Thursday, and can you believe it? Tomorrow is Friday, and before you know it, it's the weekend. Okay, so Thursday evening, and this is the piece of my choice. So this is, I think it was quite popular for a while, and this is one of the artworks by Ciro Marchetti, and this piece is called Patchwork Quilt Room, and it's a mini version. So some of you might be quite familiar with Ciro Marchetti. I would say this piece, along with a couple of other pieces I've got, and maybe Sleep Time as well, you know, my New Year's start, they're quite different in terms of style to his more recent sort of artwork. So let me show you the mock-up of this piece. So cozy and beautiful. You know, Ciro Marchetti is known for tarot card design as well. So quite a lot of patterns are kind of, you know, converted from the tarot card design. And I'm not so drawn to that particular style, but he's got a few pieces along with this one. They're absolutely beautiful. The old kitchen and the old quilt room, I think, craft room or quilt room, and this one is patchwork room as well, and patchwork quilt room, and sleep time as well. I think these ones are maybe created during a specific period of his creative journey, and they are very different from all the other pieces I've seen. So you know, I absolutely adore this piece as well. This may be one of my first heaven and earth patterns. This wasn't the first heaven and earth pattern that I worked on. Maybe it was. This is the second attempt, actually. I touch upon kind of how I got here on my part one of the whip parade. Okay, if you haven't seen my whip parades, I've got two parts out at the moment, so look them up. Okay, so let me show you my progress for this piece. So as I said, this is a mini piece. And so we're talking about 9 pages, you know, in heaven and earth terms, 9 pages of stitching. And I think I'm actually doing quite well. I'm doing quite well. I started from upper left, and let me show you the numbers here. So let me just erase my last sprint. I never remember to kind of erase it. Okay, just to avoid confusion, I erased the last sprint, and I'm going to start a fresh one. But first, I want to draw your attention to my progress here. Guys, look at the number here, 21.25. I think in terms of percentage, this is probably the most advanced project I've got. I know it's a mini, but it counts, right? 21.21, and it's tremendous. And the number of colors for this piece is 89. Okay, just one color short of 90. All right, and so I'm very happy with the progress. You know, I don't work on this piece that frequently, but considering all that, I think 21% is pretty impressive for me. I think so. Let me start a brand new sprint right in front of you, and this is going to capture every single stitch I'm going to make today, and by the end of the stream I am going to reveal the number to you. Okay, just, you know, just to demonstrate how slow you can be. It's possible. You just have to keep working on it, and there you go. So I want to say hello to all of you. Welcome everybody, and let's have a look. Who have I got here to keep me company today? We have Sarah, of course. Sarah says, believe in yourself and trust that you're on the right path. Yes, that inner belief, the faith is so important. Doesn't matter what you do. Okay, if you don't believe in yourself, no one will. So well said, Sarah. And Rajao as well. Hello, hello. Lovely to see you. Happy stitching on Thursday from Rajao. And Lizzie is also here as well. It says good evening, fellow stitchers, and good evening to you, Lizzie. And we also have Janine here as well. Janine's having time off, day off today. Well done. Yes, be on time for the class. Absolutely. And also Chelsea. Oh, we've got a few stitchers reporting from the work club. Okay, we have Chelsea here saying hello to everyone. And we also have Bez as well. Bez is also at work, and I think Sherry is at work as well. So guys, send them some love, okay? The guys at work club, despite being at work, they're still here reporting to the chat. Tremendous. And also Marilyn is also lurking at work in the shadow. Yes, I see you. I see you. And Jacqueline is also here. And Janine, yes, we've said hello to Janine and Solar Win as well. And hello to you. And who have we got? Walk Away Rini as well. And Jackie is also here in the chat. And Fibonacci is back with us. And who else have we got? And Mandy as well. Hello, hello. And Diana as well. And Cynthia. Hello, hello. Great to see you. And Wendy Little. Hello. Welcome back. And Love Drunk is also here. And Scribe as well. And Kelly Shaw. And Gaylen. Guy-Lane, okay, and Suzanne is back with us, so good to see you, and Lynette, Lynn as well. Fantastic, and thank you for joining me. So today I'm actually using quite a small hoop actually, because I really want to focus on this area where the pink flower is and the window view as well, and I've been working on this area for a little bit. The curtain is on the left side is pretty much done, and I'm slowly working diagonally and toward the bottom right there. So this piece I've been working with kind of various methods. I think the starting method I probably did block by block diagonal parking. That was my go-to for a long time. For my pieces, and somewhere along the line transition to a mini cross country. Let me just zoom in a little bit so you can see a little bit of a legacy stitches. I kind of switch back and forth very frequently. If I get bored with one method, I just switch to the other one. And so over the upper right there, I think I did a fair bit of mini cross country and slightly longer distance as well. I was experimenting with my cross country, and when I come back to the bouquet, the pink flowers here, I decided to go for block by block, back to the basic, and I think I enjoy it, and I think this is how I'm going to continue with this piece today. So last time I did practice a little bit of the strangling pass thread management that was pioneered, invented by Joyce, okay, or Joyce Stitchy Dutchy, and I think it's working well. It's keeping the pass threads quite tidy until I need them. So today I'll have to unstrangle some of them in order to free them so I can work on them. Okay, so I think my plan today is to start maybe from this block here and work in order if I can. I know at some point I'm probably going to go rogue, but I'm going to start to build the staircase, okay, and do color completion within 10 by 10 block. Okay, so it's a very, I would say, predictable in a good way in terms of the stitching method, because you don't have to overthink it, and the rules are very, very clear. So, guys, let me know. And what are you working on today on this Thursday evening? And I hope you wrap up warm, okay? Unless you're in Australia or maybe New Zealand, then make sure the air condition is working because it's going to be so hot. And otherwise, stay warm and have a hot drink. You know, have a hot drink. I've got my cup of coffee with me, and let's do a little bit spot of stitching together, shall we? So I am going to start from this block and talk about devil here. Joy Stitchy Dutchy is here. Yes, this is your method, okay? I hope I did you proud, and I have not butchered the method. So I'm going to focus on this block. At this point, let me bring on my work view here, okay, so you can see. Do I want to bring on the box? I wonder, because sometimes I do. Sometimes, you know, in terms of color completion, I can complete the colors however or whatever order I want. But sometimes I bring on Saga's highlight box, so I can go from minimum to max and all that stuff. But let me just do without the box for now and see how it flows. So with this block in my focus here, so it's partially completed. So I am going to just bring my part threads to the opposite direction and start working from the part thread that's kind of closest to me. So this way you do not run into other threads, so you don't have to fight with them. So yesterday I did a bit of block by block parking as well, but I was working with 10 stitches, and I ended up doing row by row, I think. And this one I am going to just do color completion, because with I'm doing 25 count, by the way, 25 count 1/1 with DMC. It's relatively easy to stitch. So even, you know, boxed in stitches. So it's not too bad, not too bad. So I can do my color completion. So let me just find this color first. And this piece, I haven't, you know, it's been about maybe 3-4 weeks. I have not worked on it, so it feels fresh. It feels really fresh, and it's wonderful. Let me have a look. Where am I even? Let me just make sure that everything's marked up properly. I have a feeling it might not be marked up properly at all. Am I even on the right block? So this one, let me have a look. So this one is over here, that's fine. That one's correct. And then move over here. All right, so I think those rows, the few stitches that were marked last time. So I'll have to minus a few stitches. Why don't I, you know, when it comes to counting stitches, I'm really strict, okay? I do not want to cheat. So I'm going to mark a few stitches that I had not marked last time, but I'm going to pause my counter here, okay? No cheating, no cheating. So I am going to just mark these ones. From the look of it, there were a few stitches that were marked, okay? So let me just do that. I don't know what's happening here. Hang on. I don't think that one was done. And why does it look like that? So this one is over there. That one is done. And oh, this one. Okay, so these ones are done. The colors are different, guys. What is happening here? Can you even work out what's happening here? I've got some really dark browns here. Oh, these ones. Okay. Really? That doesn't look the same, does it? Have I made a mistake here, do you think? Those colors do not match. What was I doing last time, previous sessions? I don't know. These brown ones. Okay, 1, 2. Okay, there's one more row. Okay, I'm good. No, I have not made mistakes. I just did not mark these stitches. 1, 2, 3. Okay, but I think this one is not done yet. I think I was being very sloppy. with my marking last time. That one is done as well. This one is not done. So that looks better. Okay. So I'm going to go back and turn on my counter again, okay? No cheating, no cheating. Right. So I think this one is down here. I don't know what's going on. Janine says, I'm taking a break from sour peas and working on circus tonight. Yes, you've got to switch around. And, you know, it doesn't matter how much you enjoy a certain piece. It's always nice to have a change, you know. It's a lot more balanced and healthy that way. So you need to pace yourself. You know, you've got a whole year to finish the sour peas. No need to rush. And also, all of you have got the Amy Stewart piece anyway, so it's not like you have to rush. So you can stitch for love, right? Gaylan says, beautiful project. It is gorgeous, isn't it? And I think a lot of Ciro Marchetti fans might not even know about these pieces because majority of them probably more familiar with other style, particularly recent ones, to be honest. There are a few pieces that Ciro Marchetti put out. I'm just not interested at all. I have to be honest. Oh, look. There I was talking about color completion, but I'm actually doing cross country. I just ended up stitched down here as well. Maybe I'll just do cross country. Seriously, what am I talking about? I don't know. I like to flow with the whip. If the whip at this moment is telling me to do cross country, I might just do that. I like to follow my whip's guidance. So let's see. I just naturally just end up doing cross country. I might just do that actually. I'll just clear out all the part threads as I go and do some cross country there. Change your plan B. All right. And we're only into the session for about 5 minutes. Oh, scrib, not scribe. It doesn't matter. Hello. Cynthia says, did you ever figure out Granny's back stitch? Why that globe had the line coming from the down from it? Oh, you did? Cynthia, let me know. So this is regarding my back stitching party with the members. Okay, we did it a few weeks ago, end of last year, and according to, you know, I was following the chart with the back stitching, and there was one bit just looking really peculiar. Yeah, Cynthia, let me know, and I will try to explain to everybody because I don't know why it looked like that. It looked really weird. And Joy says, I'm back on my stamp stitching. Yesterday, I restricted everything. I restitched everything I frogged the night before. Yes, Joyce, I saw your pictures. So originally, I thought you made a mistake. It turned out you didn't, did you? It's just the batch of the color, for whatever reason, just come out darker than you expected, and you presume that you made mistakes with the colors. It turned out just different batch of DMC. So you didn't have to frog actually, did you? You know, I was looking at the picture. Yes, the second one looks slightly darker, but to be honest, I would not even notice. But that's just me. All right, I'm gonna just do mini cross country with the park threads. That's my new plan, okay? And the tension for the fabric is beautiful today. I love it. Lizzie says, I haven't stitched a single stitch. Well, it's about time then. Clara, hello. Welcome. Cynthia says, it's not a globe, it's an embroidery hoop that stands on the table. Really? Are you sure? But it looks like a snow globe. Well, if you don't know what we're talking about, okay, me and Cynthia, just to show you, this is interesting because let me show you the markup here. Or maybe I can show you from the app. It's probably clearer, okay? So this is, let me show you the chart we're talking about. So you may have seen me stitching this piece. Where is it? Here. Okay, so this is one of the 14 count pieces I've got. I've got 4 kits like this, and all of them, 14 counts, have back stitching going on there. So let me show you. So this is the view without back stitching. Okay, so it's beautiful as it is, beautiful as it is. But let me turn on the back stitching for you. Let me show you here. And there's one bit looking really peculiar. That's why Cynthia brought that up. So let me turn on the back stitching. So quite a few objects here have back stitching. And now it's probably easier to come back here. Okay, so this has got back stitching turning on. Can you see there's a kind of a line? So this originally, I thought it might be a snow globe, right? Next to the kitty, the globe shape on the left of the kitty, that looks like a snow globe, right? And there's a card on the left there, but it turned out, it's not very clear here for some reason, but let me see if I can come back. Can you see there's kind of vertical line and then there's a horizontal line? These are back stitches. And I just couldn't, understand it because I thought this was a snow globe sitting on by the window. But it turned out it's got a stand and it's actually standing on the wooden chest. So Joyce is doing this piece, but not the same chart. I wonder what Joyce's version looks like. And now Cynthia is basically saying that is not a snow globe. It's actually a hoop standing on top of this wooden chest, if you know what I mean. That doesn't look like a hoop at all. Or maybe it is actually. Now you mention it. It's so mysterious. Because the back stitching is supposed to make the pictures clearer, not more confusing. Yes. So yeah, I don't know what do you think? Hey, busy mom. Yes, I don't know. It's a mystery. It's a mystery. I don't know. So maybe there's a sort of original artwork there that someone can pull out, and maybe that would be much clearer. But yeah, it's weird, isn't it? Hey, Michelle Fuller. Hello. Great to see you. Oh, busy mom is reporting from the work club as well, as usual. Yes, it's quite okay. We keep you company. Okay, so 1, 2. Because all this time, I thought it was a snow globe. Jersey Girl says, hello, stitchy friends, happy Thursday. Or Jersey goes lurking today as well. You're welcome to lurk. Hey, Maddie. Good to have you. And Sarah says it's not a globe. It's a green crab. Not another green crab, please. One is plenty. One is plenty. Well, at least not seafood, you know, not calamari. And Lizzie says it could be a paperweight. Yes, I don't know what it is, but whatever it is, it's not sitting on the on a window, by the window. It's actually on the wooden chest. That's a new discovery. Oh, I've got two symbols. Two symbols having two colors with the same symbol. Let me change it. It happens from time to time. Let me just pick a different one. How's that one? Yes, I think I'm going to be doing cross country, mini cross country. Okay, so I'm going to end this color. Hey, Vaduhi, welcome. Cynthia says no, it's an embroidery hoop, a stand with fabric in the middle. Now you mention that, it's starting to look like that. But for all this time, it just never occurred to me this embroidery hoop. Badu, he says the fishbowl. Uh-oh, here we go. It's gonna be a green crab situation all over again. Or the pink blob situation. It's gonna be inconclusive. Hey, Cheryl. Oh, Scrib says that's a snow globe. Exactly. That's what I thought all this time. I've got this pattern for, God knows, over 2 years, 2 or 3 years. I thought it was a snow globe. And that's why I thought the back stitching just didn't make sense. Because it looks like a stand underneath. Uh-huh. So the other day I was doing mini cross country with Winter Reading Nook, you know, the Amy Stewart piece, and I managed 400 during the live stream. It was pretty shocking. Let me have a look. 152. Let me pop it back. 152. Hang on. Let me find my organizer. One 152. Walkaway says, it's a mirror and there's a reflection in it. Oh dear. No, it's not. It's a mirror. What is it exactly? Seriously. Janine says it's a fish bowl next to a kitty. There's probably no fish inside. Maddie says, I'm also lurking, finishing page 1 and got started on the bear itself. It's looking great. 16%, Maddie, what's the rush? Slow down. You know, it's taken me years to get to 20% of a mini piece. Yes, slow down, slow down. Oh. Hey, hello. Let me try to pronounce this handle. It's a little bit challenging, okay? So I'll bring it on here. Stitchy species, is it? Stitchy species. Hello. Says, I'm actually here while live. I've learned some new stitching techniques from your old videos. I'm a fast stitcher, not slow, so I'm struggling with trying to change colors so often. Yes, I mean, color changing, you know, this type of stitching really kind of forces you as a stitcher to become, to find new ways of doing it, right? And it's challenging. It's good fun because, you know, prior to this type of, you know, full coverage, I was doing kind of full coverage, but smaller pieces and also charted very differently, like dimensions, you know, pieces. And they are quite straightforward to stitch and it's good fun as well. But this type of chart really, you know, challenges stitchers' kind of methods. And you have to become kind of resourceful and open-minded as well. I think it helps. All right, this one, let me just check the color. It looks correct. So this one's 946. 946. So the color is just so beautiful. I think, oh, they've got a few stitches here. Hey, Cassie. Cassie says, hello, everyone. Hope everybody is doing well today. Stitching on Once Upon Fairy Tale this afternoon. Epic, epic piece. And Cassie says, this piece you're working on is beautiful, lovely colors. I know. Ciro Marchetti. I hope he's going to do more pieces like this because, you know, his more recent design, well, according to Heaven and Earth anyway. So those ones released more recently. They're a little bit more sort of, I don't know how to describe the style, a little bit trippy. And these ones are so rich and, you know, grounded. I love it. Maddie, slow down, okay? Exactly. It's a little bit like sweets, kind of confetti. color suites. Yes, I agree. Hey Kelly, hello. Yes, Stitchy, it's always fun to try different methods. And the thing is, a lot of times when I change methods, it literally feels like a new piece because you have to think about it and look at it in a very different way. So it's a good thing to do if you've been working on a piece for a little while and things are kind of getting a little bit, you know, I wouldn't say stale, but sometimes you run into sort of days that you don't particularly want to stitch it, but you feel like you need to keep moving forward. And those days, I like to just change things around. Sometimes I just frame the piece slightly different way, make it using larger hoops or smaller hoops, just frame it different way so it looks different, and also changing methods as well. So these are two things I do if I feel like I'm, you know, stuck in a rut a little bit with a piece. Yes, I'm definitely cross-country, doing cross-country rather than block by block. And I don't think I'm going to park, actually. Or maybe I would. Hang on. Maybe I can combine parking if it makes sense. All right, then. Let me do this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, then. I haven't done cross-country and parking for a little while because I did that for a bit as well. And the reason I stopped parking was because cross-country, you're kind of going all directions, and sometimes you kind of run into pass threads. That's the only reason, but I think I am going to park today. It's just one of those days. Oh, Joy says I posted mock-up pics of craft shed on Facebook group. Let's have a look. I think probably, I don't know, let me have a look. Because Joy's, oh look, hang on. Instead of bringing, let me see if I can just bring up on my phone here. It's quicker. Here we go. Hang on. Let me just show you here on my phone. So it looks like this. Oh, it's a little bit dark. Hang on. Can you see it? So this is what Joyce posted. Let me just bring up this one. So that looks like snow globe for me, and there's no stand. There's no stand. Hang on. There's no vertical stand there. It looks like a globe that's sitting on the window. That's totally the snow globe. So how come my pattern has got the back stitches, the lines kind of running vertically and then horizontally, making it look like a stand? Yeah, it's a snow globe, isn't it? And it makes sense. It's just something that you would have. But it doesn't make sense. Is there something wrong with my chart? Very, very odd. All right. I'll probably need to kind of investigate a little bit. I don't know why, because I checked the PDF, the original PDF as well, and it does have those back stitches in that shape. Hey Jody, welcome. Lynn and her guinea pigs. Okay, Lynn says Yogi, the guinea pigs have deserted me and they're fast asleep. Yes, because normally with Lynn, Lynn's got two guinea pigs, okay, and one would be resting on top of her shoulder, like each side, one on each. Can you imagine? Just imagine, just visualize it. Visualize it. Lynn with two guinea pigs, one on each side, while she's stitching. But today, they're neglecting their duty. They're sleeping. Oh, seriously. 606. Mouse 580, hello. Mouse says, I'm working on a piece for my mom. Is a tiger, her favorite animal. I bet she's a tiger as well. Moo. And I've almost finished page 2. Sadly, she was diagnosed 2 weeks before Christmas with terminal cancer. Oh, I'm so sorry, Mouse. Sending love to you from the chat as well, right, chat? Please send Mouse some love and well wishes for her and the mom as well. Yes, I think a lot of people go through parents, you know, becoming unwell and they become the caretakers or just simply having to kind of go through that process. So I'm with you, Mouse. I went through that with both of my parents as well. It's not easy at all. So I'm totally with you. Clara says it's a snow globe. I think it is. So I need to find out why my chart is asking me to stitch that way. It doesn't make any sense. Cynthia says, can you bring yours out and show you what you stitch? Yes, I can do that in a little bit. Let me just do a few more stitches here. I can bring out my piece to show you. Jody says, Jody basically thinks everything is AI. I don't think it is though, because this chart it's been around for a long time. I think I got it way before the AI took over. Okay, I think I got this chart back in 2000, maybe 18 when I bought it. And I doubt very much at that time AI was a thing yet. So originally the pattern came in paper form. And I finally got a digital version from them. I don't think it's AI, maybe just misinterpretation of what it is when they charted it. I have no idea. It's quite mysterious, but I'll show you what I've got in a bit. Panty says maybe it's a floating bubble with reflection. Yeah, I think it's a snow globe. I think it's a snow globe. But for some reason, maybe the chart was misinterpreted in some way. Hey, Rachel says been lurking since start regarding the mystery object. I think it's a snow globe too. Me too. That's why maybe some of I'm sure quite a few of the members were there when I was stitching it. As I was stitching it, I was scratching my head. I was thinking, why is there a vertical line and horizontal line that makes it look like a stand? It just doesn't make sense. and I've been scratching my head since. So I checked my PDF, the original PDF, and indeed those stitches are part of the chart. So it's not sort of a glitch, you know, being converted to the digital format. Okay, let me mark these ones. Quite a few stitches. Yes, it definitely flows better with cross country today. And I think it's important not to, you know, impose any stitching method. If it doesn't flow, just change. Stitchy says, I think it's a bell jar with some dry flowers. Well, it could be any of those things. I just don't, it just doesn't look like it's sitting on the wooden chest. Yeah. It looks like an object, whatever it is, fishbowl, whatever. But it's sitting on the window. Rachel says, started a new project on 20 count easy grid by Zweiger, but it's so stiff. 20 count, is it stiff? Rachel says, it's so stiff it's not enjoyable to stitch on. I've soaked the fabric in warm water with a bit of soap to see if it softens. Yes, normally if it's quite starched, you just soak in water. If you don't mind losing the grid a little bit, you know, it might not come off totally. Because I washed one of the easy grid 25 count fabric, and it does go slightly fadey, but not too bad. I actually prefer the lines being a little bit fadey. All the love to you. Joy says, my pattern of the craft shirt is a XSD file I bought from Dream Stitch. It had no back stitches. Yes, that's a Saga compatible format. I ended up buying a couple of charts from them as well. I just can't, you know, can't get over how cheap they are. I do feel slightly guilty, but those charts I bought, I really liked, so I decided to buy from them. And it's quite nice that you can just import to Saga straight away. All right, let me just do 2 more stitches. Just 1 more. And this piece, depending on the area you stitch, I say it's fairly confetti, particularly the stained windows here. Oh my goodness. They look harmless, but very, very confetti. Doesn't like it. Two. Lynn says, Yogi, we should have a vote on snow globe or not. I think it's a snow globe. If you look at the mock-up, the picture Joy sent. Okay, let me just load it up a little bit. It looks. It doesn't really look like a fish bowl, because fish bowl, there will probably be a fish, right? But this is definitely a snow globe. It looks like maybe there's a little house in there somewhere and some snow around. Okay, but let me just show you. Let me see if I can find my actual web there, because I only worked on it a few days ago. Let me see if I can find it here. Indeed, I can. Look at this. Found it right away. So this is what's happening. Okay, so this is on my hoop right now. Let me zoom out a little bit. I can show you here. So I'm going to show you what it looks like with the back stitching according to the chart. Look at this. Can you see that? So according to the chart, this is the kitty. So everything looks normal, and there's an outline around the snow globe as well. So nothing wrong here until I started to move down and I realized there's a vertical line here and there's a horizontal line to make it look like it's standing on top of the wooden chest instead. Because all this time I thought it was, you know, without the back stitching, I thought it was sitting on a window next to the kitty. It makes sense, right? And but on the chart, it's instructing the back stitching to go vertical and horizontal. It makes zero sense, and it doesn't look like it's part of the wooden chest either. So I have no idea what's going on, and that's what it is like on the actual chart. So it's not sort of conversion glitch on Saga or anything like that. It's indeed telling you to stitch like this. So it looks so strange, isn't it? It's odd. It doesn't make sense. And I remember as I was stitching it, I was going, does it supposed to look like this? It's just odd. Snowblower? What's a snowblower? I mean power tool. The power tool. Janine says, the snow globe is sitting on a base, though, for sure. It doesn't make sense. Have you seen snow globes sort of sitting on top of a stand like that? And it's not an actual stand, it's just back stitching stand. It's very, very odd. Lynn says, Yogi, if there was fish in the bowl, the cat would not be sleeping. Exactly, because if it's this fish bowl, there will be no fish in the bowl. All right. Oh, 2 stitches. And I might come over and do a little bit over there as well. 977. It's a mystery. 977. Michelle says to look cheesy. What does? The snow globe? So I checked the PDF chart. Maybe I should check the paper chart, you know, that came with the kit originally. See if there's any kind of odd thing happened with the digital version. Because I just assume the PDF is identical to the paper chart. The stand, okay, it doesn't look cheesy. It looks flimsy. It looks like, why? It doesn't make sense because if like snow globe or whatever it is sitting on the stand, it should be part of the cross stitching chart rather than, you know, just having two lines of back stitching to illustrate it, if you know what I mean. If it's part of the stand, how come that stand is not part of the cross stitching chart? Because I think back stitches should be enhancing the images, not being used as a illustration for the image, if that makes sense. Hey, Stephanie. Stephanie Cross Stitches says, hello, Yogi and everyone, and hello to you. And also, Betty says, maybe it's a hoop with some stitches in it. And that's what Cynthia said. But if you looked at that, the mock-up, that image Joyce posted, it looks like a snow globe. There's no stand on her version. It's quite mysterious. Ooh. And also that piece, the one with snow globe, it's actually by a known artist. So it's not one of those unknown pieces. Maybe I just need to look up the original. I mean, unfortunately, this artist is not that... There isn't a lot of information about him. He's called Steve Reed. Steve Reed. That's his name. And he's got a few pieces being converted to cross-stitching charts. And probably because the artist is not really that well known, it's much harder to find original artwork. All right, 977. Samantha says, I'm late to the class. Hello, everyone. Oh, Samantha, yes. I'll let you off today, Samantha. You confess yourself. Because sometimes stitches will come on here and pretend that they've been here all along. Be here on time for the class, okay? Yes, good to see you, Samantha. All right, so that one is done. Just two stitches here. And I'm gonna try to be good and keep coming back to fill in the stitches as I move forward, so I don't leave too many loose stitches behind, like this one, for instance. Because every time I see a pattern that looks like this on my fabric, I just go, oh, I kind of have to go from the top and start working on it. So maybe short distance, cross country will be a little bit better. 371, no spooky bingo just yet. 371. 371. And also I found a piece of fabric I could use for the black work piece I'm going to be working on with the members this coming Saturday, tomorrow really, well, the day after tomorrow. And it's a piece of 14 count fabric that I think it probably came with one of the kits I've got, some older ones, and the size is perfect. Because originally I thought about using higher count fabric and do 1/2, and then I just decided to keep it simple, because having to skip one stitch at a time probably would do my brain in. So as I'm totally new to black work, I am going to keep it simple. I'm going to stitch on a piece of 14 count Ada. It's quite a nice piece of fabric. Kelly says, Yogi, this project is looking really good. You have a lot of curtain stitch too. I don't realize. Yes, this piece, I'm actually over 20%. I don't know whether you're here when I show the percentage. So I'm pretty advanced in terms of percentage, even though, bear in mind, this is a mini piece, but still, I'm really thrilled. And the curtain is working really well, even with a mini piece. All the details are captured, the pattern, etc., and the shades. It's very beautiful. I think this piece is great as a mini, because not all full size can be converted to mini properly. It really, varies quite a lot, piece by piece. But I think this one is it's worked out really well. And I still vividly remember, because this is my second start. The first start, it was kind of pure. I don't know. I kind of talked about it during my whip parade. I actually, at that time, didn't have any proper threads. I did not have CXC. I did not have DMC. I didn't even know whether I was going to like full coverage stitching. So I grabbed a piece of 14 count fabric, Ada, and just eyeballed all the sort of random floss I've got. I kind of collected throughout the years, mixed brands, and I just eyeball the colors. I Google the DMC number and try to visually match up the color on my screen. And I actually didn't do too bad at all. So the first start with this piece, I stitched it with 14 count Ada, and then random threads and kind of random colors. I don't think they're super accurate, but they came out. It actually came out quite nice. And after that, I decided to do it properly, and I started this piece. It's quite a journey, really, looking back. All right, 371. 371. Janine says, I was going through all my old cross-stitch boxes and reorganizing, and actually found a supersize that I started and I totally forgot about. You forgot that you started a supersize piece? How? And Janine says, you can tell I was a new stitcher when I started it. It's really interesting, isn't it? When I looked at the first couple of pieces, sort of full coverage, and I can recall every stitch I made because I remember the kind of excitement, and also I knew nothing. I still don't know anything, okay, but I think I learned a little bit more than 2 years ago, 3 years ago. But yeah, I remember the thrill stitching full coverage for the first time. But Janine, you started off with a super size. That's very bold, very bold. All right, I am going to, it's a little bit confetti here, so I'm going to have a little break coming down here. There are a few colors that's got more stitches, so I can have a little break. So I am going to unstrangle this bunch, okay? And that's very easy. Just tease this one away, and there you go. It's free. And that one as well. Okay. So what should I do? I think I'm going to work from the bottom then. Oh, yes. Change of plan. Let's start here. One, two, three. Joy says, good choice to do your black work on Ada. My 1/125 count was a nightmare because of the slipping stitches. Yes, I didn't even think of that because I was just thinking about stitch counts. But you're quite right because it's even weave, isn't it? And slipping stitches could happen unless you do 1/2, right, Joyce? Will that help? If you do 1/2, I remember you said it might help with slipping stitches. And also for me, I think for black work, 25 count 1/1 is way too challenging. I want to be able to kind of, you know, see the stitches properly. And also, even 1/2, I'm going to have to kind of overthink and remember that I have to skip over one stitch. That's just too much. So I think 1/1 and reasonable stitch size will be a lot more sensible. And I really love that pattern. Really love the pattern. And I'm really happy to hear that there are a lot of free patterns out there as well. Oh, hello. No, 1, 2, 1, 2. I don't think that's correct. Hang on. I think I'm one stitch off. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Never mind. I'm gonna fudge. Okay, guys. 1, 2, 3. Hi, Chelsea. Stephanie says, when I started, I was 8, and it was to finish my Nana's cross stitch after she passed, and it looked horrible, but I did learn the basics at that time. 8 full coverage or cross stitch pieces. Yes, I can't remember what age I was when I started cross stitching. I think it was a little bit later because I learned knitting first and crocheting with my mom. My mom taught me how to do it, and I don't think I started cross stitching until later on. you know, when I realized I just love doing crafts and stuff. And then I found myself doing cross stitching. But I think I started knitting first. I think I'm going to park. It's just that kind of day. Improv day. Okay. This one literally just one and a little bit, one stitch. Janine says, I love the image, actually, referring to the supersized chart, but I think it was way over my head at the time and got frustrated and threw in the box. Now I can work on it again, maybe some frogging to do on it though. I think it's to do, I don't know when that was, Janine, when you started. It's also to do with how much knowledge or you know, information you have access to. I mean, we're very lucky now. You know, if we have a question in mind regarding stitching or whatever, we can probably find information somewhere on YouTube or on Google, right? And or come to a group like this, and or Facebook group, right? Whereas I don't know, depends. If it was, you know, I don't know, before internet days, it's got to be difficult. You probably have to buy a book, or I don't know how people manage back in those days. How did people learn things? Jeanine, put away fudge, okay? There's only one stitch. Only one stitch here. No one will notice. It's a tough crowd, tough crowd. 1, 2, 3, 4, indeed. Okay, I confess. I can clean myself, okay? There is one stitch off. I don't know how people learn things, because even if you want to buy books, you have to go to a bookshop, okay? I'm talking about like before internet days. If you want to learn how to cross stitch, how do you even start? Unless you have a grandma or mom teaching you. How do you even learn how to do it? By the time you buy a book, you know, it's going to be a week later. Whereas now, if you want to learn something new, you can learn it within half an hour. Nothing to see here, exactly. Deny, 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 Clara. Repeat after me. D, 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 okay? 3 Ds. Oh, Stephanie, that's a simple piece. That's good. Imagine if you were 8 and you start with a piece like this. You'll probably never cross stitch again. Slowly releasing all the strangled part threads. I'm definitely in a cross-country mood today. Look at this. I cannot stop myself. Hey, Ring. Welcome. Joy says, on the sao from Peppermint Purple, that's a black work sao, isn't it? They gave direction on how to stitch on their Facebook group. I remember the lessons, but can't forget the mistakes of fabric choice. Yes, I mean, the pattern I bought, it comes with some instruction as well, but not so much. There's no particular direction or guidance on fabric counts other than the sizes. You know, there's no sort of warnings or whatever on certain fabric count. You might run into problems, even though according to the pattern that I'm going to stitch on Saturday, it says the highest count recommended was 18, so it's still within Ada arena. So maybe generally they just don't recommend even weave unless you know what you're doing, or unless you're doing 1/2, right? Because otherwise you're gonna have a problem. Oh, I've been stitching 310 without knowing. That was 310, guys. You can have a relay spooky bingo because I'm done with it. 310. I don't even know what that means, Kelly. Kelly says, Yogi, we're on you like white on rice? Do you mean like white on ice? Yes, rice has officially entered the chat. Janine says, I've been cross-stitching for years, probably since I was a teenager, but only full coverage for about 4 years. Same here. I think it was probably 1920-ish when I started cross-stitching. Maybe. It's kind of a guess. But yes, for me as well, full coverage is a very recent thing. I only discovered it around COVID time, you know. I think I'm one of those people during COVID just discover a whole bunch of weird and wonderful hobbies. So majority of these pieces that I've been stitching for a while, they all started around that time. It was one big rabbit hole that I fell in. Okay, this one is 890, 890. Patty says, I taught myself knitting. No one I knew. No one I knew. Oh, so basically no one you knew knew how to knit. And Patty says, I purchased a starter kit and bought books after books, and it was a lot of determination on my part. I bet if you I don't know when that was, but if we're talking about sort of pre-internet time, or at least before it became so accessible, yes, the only way to learn something is either to go to a course, right? I remember my mom and my dad, they went to a computer course. They teach you how to turn on a computer. I remember it was hilarious. And I suppose you either have to go to a course or buy a book of some kind, and just think about the speed of, you know, of that process and cost as well. Whereas now, if you go on the internet, majority of things are free, you know, in terms of information, and the speed of, in terms of efficiency, and also effectiveness of how information is transferred, is shocking if you think about it. You know, we can learn things so quickly because video is the best way visual form is the best way to pass on information, because you can see it, you can hear it. And also forums like this, it's spontaneous. You can ask a question and lo and behold, you get answers. Most of the times, not from me, okay? I know nothing, but from the chat, from other fantastic stitchers. And that speed, is just unparalleled. There's no amount of books or, whatever super seminar that you can go to is going to be as effective. So I think learning cross-stitching nowadays is very different. It's very different. You can pick it up, overnight. Mao says, I started at 10. My auntie taught me. Yes, I think it's a really good start to have a member of the family teaching you a certain craft, like my mom teaching me how to knit and crochet, and it stays with me my entire life. It's one of my favorite things I like to do before I discover full coverage stitching. I was mostly a knitter, up to that point. And then lo and behold, I'm in this giant rabbit hole, really enjoying it. It's quite weird because up to this point, I was cycling through all sorts of crafts. I love doing everything. I dabble a little bit of sewing, a little bit of cross-stitching, a little bit of felting. I just love doing different things. And most of the times, if I spend doing it for a little while, I get bored and I wanted to move on to a different thing. But full coverage stitching is just, I don't know, there's something about it. I just keep wanting to come back. It's weird. All right, this one, I am going to end it. Stephanie says, before internet days, I just looked at a pattern and what my nana did. Pattern had the directions in it. Yes, that's lovely. But I think it might be easier if you're doing like samplers, because with, cross-stitching, before I discovered this form of cross-stitching, I was doing, dimensions, and you can get away with just reading through some instructions that come with the kits, and you can start stitching. But this type of kits that I've got had very little instruction in terms of stitching method. It might tell you, okay, have the fabric and maybe start from the center or whatever it is. But that's about it. There's or maybe the instructions on how to cross stitch, how to make a cross, that kind of level of information. But beyond that, it's so nuanced. It's not just about making a cross. It's how you approach the entire piece, isn't it? And that no one can teach you up to that point. A90. A90. Why do I have a red? Oh, A91. All right. A90. Suzanne says, I learned cross-stitch from a magazine. Oh, yes, magazines as well. Yes, they're cross-stitching magazine or knitting magazine. I forgot about that. When was the last time I ever bought a copy of a magazine? Yes. Yes, that's probably one of the sources for information as well. Yes, magazines. I forgot about that totally. Joy says it's very hard to find information how to stamp. How to stamp cross stitch. Every search gives hundreds of unboxing videos. I know. For some reason, all the stamp stitching, stamp kit, floss tube is all about unboxing. I know how to open a box, okay? Thank you very much. Yes, Joyce, that's hilarious. A lot of unboxing, I think they're all adverts, you know, kind of affiliation in disguise, pretending to be, you know, like floss tube. There are tons and tons out there, particularly with stamp kits for some reason. Yes, I know how to open a box, Joyce. Yeah, it's so true. That's so funny, Joyce. There are a lot of unboxing of stamp kit, but no one is stitching them. Oh dear, ring. -13 where ring is. Yes, send Ring some love, okay? I think Ring might be frozen to bits. -13, I cannot imagine. You know, a couple of weeks ago, London actually went through a very cold period, and I think technically the temperature wasn't too bad. It was probably -1 or 2, but with wind chill, I think it was -4 or something, and it was freezing. It was absolutely freezing. And I was on a bicycle, you know, with the chills and everything. Oh, that was a little bit challenging. -13, I have no idea. Kelly, I know nothing escapes the chat, you know, because sometimes we're chatting, I'm stitching, and in my mind, I'm just thinking no one is paying attention what I'm doing, really. And everybody's chatting. And lo and behold, someone will go, hey, you know, here's Fudgy visiting you. So someone somewhere is always paying attention. There's no escape for Yogi. Patty says that was in the late 70s or early 80s. Oh, yes. I think, yes, I think magazines and books probably would have been the sort of main source of information around that time. So in a way, we're learning things so fast, so much faster now. Okay, I think there are 2 stitches. They're not marked on my chart. Let me just do one more here. Oh, Sarah. Sarah says grandson just called and said he needed to ask me a question for his homework. And the question is, what does the quality of life depend on? Wow, that's profound. How old is the grandson? 5? Is that what they teach at school? And what did you say then, Sarah, with your wisdom? So the quality of life. Breathing is good. Breathing is but we're not talking about necessities. We're talking about quality, isn't it? So that's a slightly different kind of question. That's presuming that you're breathing. I think health is definitely, quality of well-being. Well-being is good, and well-being of the physical body and well-being of the mind body, right? If both are good, you're good. Sarah's answer is that the amount of stitchy time. Exactly. Doing things you love and enjoy. The more you do it, your life is occupied with joy and enthusiasm. That's what we need. Lynn says, Yogi, we learned cross stitch at school. Do they teach you cross stitching at school? That's nice. So this one is 905, guys. Wendy says, Yogi, look at you go to sleep. Go fell asleep. Oh, do you mean you, Wendy, or Yogi? I didn't fall asleep. Right, so Wendy went to sleep and not feeling the best today. Woke up and Yogi is stitching so fast. Am I? Am I stitching fast, Wendy? Maybe you're in your dream still. So in Wendy's dream, Yogi is stitching really fast. But Wendy, it's a dream after all. Dun dun dun. When you wake up, Yogi is still slow. Because, if in doubt, refer to the channel name, okay? It says on the tin. And I hope you're feeling better, Wendy. Cynthia says, I learned from the needle point near where I worked. What's a needle point? And Cynthia says, I fell in love with the sample on the wall, and woman taught me how to start a very easy pattern 50 years ago. Wow, that's one special lady, isn't it? If someone have shown you something that kind of changed your life in some way, right? Kind of for you to discover something that you love to do. Needlepoint for me is something else. Maybe needlepoint was like a place, was it? I don't know. But needlepoint for me was a craft. I love needlepoint as well, like 10 stitching of yarn. I do have a few pieces, still ongoing. after a few years, it's still going on. Oh, I love these colors. They're just so alive. I love this green as well. And Chelsea says, currently drafting my own black work pattern. Amazing. It's so weird because prior to you know, discovering blackwork stitching, I had never ever heard about it ever. Even though, you know, I'm kind of in the sort of embroidery and stitching world a little bit now. And now everywhere I turn, maybe it's the YouTube algorithm, it's like my feed is full of blackwork. It's hilarious. It's just like, you know, suddenly it's all about blackwork. Jody. Oh, Jody's going to work. Yes. Sending Jody some work club love. And we'll see you soon. Enjoy your day and your work. Lynn says, Yogi, people learn cross stitch also in Women's Weekly. What's Women's Weekly? Is it like a magazine? I mean, the last time I bought a magazine of any kind, it was in digital form, you know. There's a magazine, I don't know whether they're still around, it's called Molly Makes. It's kind of craft magazines. So the guys in the UK may have come across them. But I don't think I ever bought physical magazines. But they had kind of e-version of it. But I have not bought from them for a long time. Okay. These colors are just so pretty. Janine says, yeah, unboxing videos are popular because people doing them are affiliated for the STEM kit companies. YouTube gets a kickback. Yes, I can tell. I can always tell if a channel is kind of affiliated and pretending to be floss tube because they never stitch anything. And it's all about just, you know, who buys like 10, 15 boxes of those kits like every week? No one. Because when do you stitch them? They're probably just too busy unboxing everything. So 905. Kelly says, I saw someone stitching stamp pattern with sewing method and stitching in hands. I think she's Thai. Yeah, I think you can it's probably easier to do because the canvas is kind of stiff, isn't it? Whereas if you stitching on Ada, it's more demanding with the hands because you have to arrange the fabric in a certain way. Whoops. Michelle says, I definitely think doing something you love contributes to quality of life. 100%. 100%. The other day, I think we were talking about, we felt bad about people who don't have hobbies, you know. They don't know what to do in their free time. And if they ever retire from work, they kind of lost the kind of, you know, motivation to get up in the morning. That is so sad. And doesn't matter what you do, retiring or not, you need to do what you love. I think our body knows if we're living with purpose, you know, if every single cell comes to life when you're doing something you're passionate about. And the body also knows when you don't have enough motivation to do things. You know, people sometimes get sick because they get depressed or something. The body and the mind, they're one thing. They're not separate. So definitely doing something you love is vital for quality of life. Solar Wind says relationships for quality of life and feeding the soul. Oh, that's very profound indeed. That covers so many things, isn't it? And relationship is not just about marriage and romantic relationship. It's about the people you choose to be around you. You know, a lot of times we have people who are toxic, but we have them anyway because we just feel bad about with those people, or maybe they're family members. You know, sometimes you can't choose your family, or they're friends you have for a long time. You just have them around, even though they're not really bringing some kind of good vibes. There are people like that around us. And I remember maybe it was Oprah. Oprah, where are you, Oprah? I remember she said, she was probably quoting someone else. And I remember she said there are only two types of people in the world. One that brings you energy, and the other one saps your energy. So it's important to kind of decide what kind of person you are when you're around people. Because, you know, your existence can have impact on someone else's well-being. Jacqueline says farm newspapers had adverts where you could order patterns. Really? Farm newspapers? Why farm newspapers? Is it, or any kind of newspapers? So you order patterns through adverts on newspapers. Wow. But how do you do that? Do you call them or do you write to them? Remember, people used to write with papers and pens. I know. Maddie says, I hit 4,000 stitches. Yes, Maddie is no lacking with the passion for stitching. It's got 4,000 done. Is it just the last 20 minutes? You know? Oh, Jackie Turner says, Sarah, the answer is love. Yes. Hey, Natty. Good to see you. And Betty Hankins is here as well. Ah, Cynthia meant Needlepoint store. So it's the name of the store. It's called Needlepoint. Ah, how nice. We need more shops like that. Where am I? Over here. Two, one. Trying to find my spot. 1, 2. Okay. Lynn says Yogi deserve a pat on the back if you dare ride a bike in London. Not for me. Yeah, a lot of people say that. It's actually, I would say it's much safer than what it looks like. I'm used to it. And also, I'm really sensible, you know. I never try to run red lights or do weird things. I just cycle like a normal person. Seal Kelly. Janine says Google listens to everything we say and send you ads about what you were talking about. Kind of scary. Yes, it does. Yes. I think Google, when you have a video, for instance, it doesn't just look at the title or whatever it is. It scans everything, all the speech, and you know they convert it to transcript, and they use the transcript to kind of figure out what you were doing, really. Yes. 677. Six, seven, seven. Very nice. Lizzie says it's a magazine, so I'm guessing it's referring to the Women's Weekly. I wonder nowadays if you have a magazine that's got women this or women that, are you accused of being sexist? Like, men are going to protest and go, what about us? You know, can we have a men weekly? Men's Weekly. Oh, but then again, there's a magazine called Men's Health, so I guess it's probably okay. Chelsea says there's a cross stitch magazine. I get ads for it. Yeah, I suppose there's still sort of craft magazines around. I'm just thinking, how many people are actually buying them? I think majority of people probably buy the electronic version of it, because I certainly, you know, from Molly Makes, I know they've got a print version as well, but I don't think I ever bought those. Cynthia says, Yogi are stitching so fast today. Really? Am I fast? Cynthia says, not a lot of confetti. I'm guessing now time for supper. Yeah, see you later, Cynthia. See you later. This area, not this area, this pattern, I would say for a mini pattern is pretty confetti. But I think if you do cross country, it probably feels a little bit less confetti because you can, you know, keep stitching, find the next stitch, rather than just do a ninja and stop, right? So stitching method probably has some impact on how you deal with confetti. So Betty Hankins says, I miss this lady that did floss tube quite often, but I can't think of her handle. She lives in Arkansas, Byler Lake. Anyone know? Anybody knows her? I have no idea. Anyone knows? Joy says, I wanted to try stitching on 14 count before. That was a counted cross-stitching kit with that origami. Oh yeah, the origami fabric. So the fabric actually came with a kit. That really stiff fabric. The fabric is and this is pre-stamped kit is sturdy but better than the one I had, because that one is absolutely ridiculous. You know, I have stitched on 14 counts quite fair bit. I've never come across something so stiff. That was hilarious. And they just try to wash it. I think sometimes the Ada can be quite starched. I think maybe they think it's easier for the stitchers, but it's not actually. It's just, I don't like stiff fabric either. Alison, hello. Alison says, evening Yogi and Stitchy friends, been lurking tonight. Was trying to complete stitches to finish a chapter in a series of challenges working on Thread Geek's pattern, Tangled. That's the title, Tangled. Interesting. Good to have you, Alison. All right, this one, 906. No spooky bingo today just yet. Yogi's all alone in a spooky bingo land. Lizzie says, I miss getting handwritten letters. It's quite rare nowadays, isn't it? I do have a friend who sends me a handwritten Christmas card every year. And I'm terrible because normally I just reply with a text, say thank you so much. But it's very rare. People don't do it anymore. And I wonder, you know, like a greeting cards and stuff, the industry must be, you know, tanking big time because no one is sending anything. And also people who make papers and notebooks, etc. You know, I don't think that many people, the demand is greatly diminished. See you later, Cynthia. Jacqueline says, back in 1960, that is how I acquire patterns, by writing the companies in the ad. Right, so they give you an address and you write to them with real paper and a pens, right? And they go, so you have to give them your home address. And then how do you pay them then? So how did people pay if you are not in person? Maybe like a check? Oh, how interesting. The things we kind of take for granted now. But if you think about it, how did people used to do it? I think so. Do you send them real money? Do you actually send cash? Do people send cash? And if you lose it, you lose it. because I don't know when checks came about. So before checks, what do you do if you're not paying the person in person? Tonitia says, I think for me, quality of life about a gentleness for yourself and others. Oh, utterly true. Yes, I think it's how we treat others, because we always say, oh, treat people kindly, etc., as if it's kind of nice thing to do. But no, it's being kind to yourself, because people who are harsh to others, they're probably quite harsh to themselves as well, because we kind of project, you know, our self-judgments on others. So for instance, I remember I was going out with this guy, right? And and it was a few years ago, you know, not Mr. Yogi. And I remember at that time, we're both kind of, you know, we go out for nightlife, we both drank, etc. And I remember I just went through a period, I decided not to drink, not like permanently, but just going through a detox period. And and I remember this guy, okay, and we were living together at that time, and he kind of looked at me because I decided to quit for a little bit. He didn't, and for some reason it kind of triggered some sort of insecurity in him. He kind of looked at me and holding a beer and go, are you judging me now, or something along those lines. And I was so shocked because, you know, I was just taking a break from drinking, but because he was still drinking, somehow he felt threatened by me. And I think that, you know, that kind of hostility and or even aggression is coming from self-judgment, because he was judging himself. I wasn't judging him. He was judging himself, but that he projected that to me. And so day to day, if we're not mindful, a lot of this kind of things could go on, you know. 3787. And I think being kind to others, ultimately you're being kind to yourself. Absolutely. Because if you're nice to others, you're happier as a person anyway. So 3787. And I remember when I was doing training for in yoga. So I was already qualified as a yoga teacher, and I was teaching for a while. But I went on a separate training course in order to teach in yoga. Okay, so in yoga is a different form of yoga. And I remember during that training, we had to do meditation. And there are different forms of meditations. You can sit there and just go, you know, whatever it is. There are different forms. But the one we were practicing that day, it was kind of, I don't have a word for it. I'm not big on meditation. But basically, we had to meditate while visualizing certain things. So we were actually told to visualize someone who we are mad at, basically angry, holding some sort of grudge and anger towards. That's a strange meditation, right? But there were a few steps before that. So, but we got to the stage of the meditation. We had to visualize someone that we do not like and maybe angry at. And it was dawned on me. It was dawned on me that I could not think of a single person. I just do not have it. I'm not mad at anybody. And I have no grudge. I'm not holding any grudge to anybody, because how exhausting is it to be mad at someone? And I just do not have it. I do not have it. And the teacher was looking at me and go, surely you can think of someone. And I tried. I truly tried. And I could not think of anybody. So there you go. And I think, you know, life is so much better when you hold no grudges. Oh, hang on a second. I've got this color totally wrong. Where did I get this green? Hang on a sec. It's supposed to be... Where did should I fudge it? Can I just stitch over it? It's supposed to be this dark green, but for some reason I stitched this lime green. Oh dear. And no one noticed. No one noticed. Hey, there you go. I nearly got away with it. Nearly got away with it. But I confess, okay, so maybe I'm gonna let me see if I can fudge it. Otherwise, I'm gonna just stitch over it. How's that? Maybe I can get away with it. Yeah, I've got this strange color. Oh no, Clara. Can I fudge it? Frog? Lizzie says frog. All right. How about if I release? I'll follow the chat's guidance. Okay, hang on a second. I'm gonna release a poll. All right, just a quick one. All right, hang on. All right, I'm gonna release a poll. Okay, go, and I'll do whatever you say. Yes, go for it. Yes, this is a tough one because the correct color is a lot darker. I might be able to get away with it, but then again, who knows? I'll follow your guidance. How's that? I'll leave it up there for a couple of minutes. Okay, you guys go for it. Lizzie says I sometimes do not even have to say it out loud. I get ads for things I have only just slightly thought about in my head. Right, do you mean like algorithm? But you know, algorithm is so sneaky, particularly Instagram and Facebook. They're essentially the same entity. And YouTube probably tune into, God knows, all the other apps, social media that you have. So even if you accidentally come across some sort of shorts, you know, there are a lot of short form videos, and just have a quick look at it, instantly, it's kind of making assumption that you're interested. And also, if you do shopping, I find if I buy anything on Amazon, the other platforms seem to know about it as well. I'm wondering whether there's some sort of interconnecting thing that's happening on the devices. All right, I'm going to give you 10 more seconds, okay? And you will decide my fate here. Oh, close call, close call. So anyone has any strong feelings on one side or the other, now is a good time to vote, okay? You're there, you have the technology, go for it. I'll give it 5 more seconds. Oh, I know which one is winning. Unless something dramatic happens, then it might be different. Betty Hankins says, I remember one magazine would offer free pattern if you wrote to them. So you have to write to them and say, give it to me. And they give it to you. That's nice. Wendy says, I bought my first cross-stitch magazine this week. Unfortunately, it will be my last $20 Australian. It was full of patterns. Oh, how nice. The first cross-stitch magazine. I bet they're still around, right? I'm sure they're around. All right, then. Yes. Now, okay, so let's have a look. I asked the chat, shall I frog or shall I fudge? Oh my God, it did flip around for a little bit. Fudge was way ahead. Now it's split in the middle. What do I do, guys? It's 50-50 split in the middle. Yes, maybe one more vote. Just one more vote can flip it around. You have the power. Anybody that hasn't voted yet, you can go for it. You can change. You can basically take over the fate of Yogi. Okay? Anybody? Any more? 50-50, literally. Oh, hang on. 52 for frog. Yes, okay. I'm going to end the poll now. So here we go. Frogging has won. Yes. 2% more out of 21 votes. Well, there you go. I'm allowed to fudge then. I'm allowed to fudge. It's official. You know, the chat has given me permission. And you can tell me whether it's working, okay? So I'm going to stitch this dark brown over this lime green. I don't know where this lime green is coming from. Where did I even get that? Did I take the wrong part thread and just start stitching? Okay, I'm going to stitch over it. And you let me know if you can see it. So there's 3 stitches. Oh, 4 actually. Oh dear. And that one as well. And if it's not working, well, we just have to squint and just look away, look away. I think I might be able to get away with it because the lime green is quite light. How's that? It's not too bad. You can't tell, can you? And there's one more here. Oh, the technology of fudging is amazing. Yes, Sola says it's confetti fudge. Yes. And if it doesn't look good, you can't blame me, okay? I'm following your guidance. I don't think it's too bad. You can't tell. Because if it was the other way around, if I'm stitching lime green on top of brown, maybe I'm gonna run into trouble. It's all right. See, you can't really tell, can you? Whew, crisis averted. Crisis averted. Sarah says, I love my notebooks and journals and planners. Yes, people used to have planners like for the whole year, don't they? And calendars, like on the walls and stuff with firemen wearing very little or something like that. Marilyn says, I'm stitching on 28 count even weave. 1/2 have no issues. 1/2. Oh, Marilyn, you were referring to black work. 28 counts. Yes, if you do 1/2, according to Joyce, you should be okay for even weave. But if you do 1/1, I can imagine it will probably slip. Let me take a sip of my coffee here. Sarah says you can send a check. Depends on when though. What about back in 60s? Did they have checks then? Lynn says trouble is, Yogi, post is so expensive. No wonder people don't use the service. Yes, post you have to buy stamps. Guys, do you remember stamps? Oh my goodness. Yes, stamps are in trouble. Who is sending anything? When was the last time you posted something that you have to buy a stamp for? My goodness. And that's why, at least in the UK, the post office, they kind of try to double and triple up doing different things. For a while, my local post office, when we used to have it, there's a really large one, probably have been there for decades. I have no idea. Quite a large post office on a high street here. And it tried to turn into kind of Amazon collection point. And also you can just bring stuff you want to get refund for, you want to return to the post office. And they actually had a kind of scanning machine there. I don't know whether they're still doing that. I just feel like the post office, they kind of try to survive in some way, you know, try to kind of morph into other services. But even that didn't work out because that post office that's on our street probably used to be, have been there for ages and ages, disappeared overnight. I didn't even notice it. I cycle past every day, didn't even notice until one day I wanted to return something from Amazon, and I didn't think much of it. I just went straight to the post office and realized it's not there anymore. This is totally shut down. It's quite shocking. So we don't even have a local post office anymore. So I don't know how people post things nowadays. Jacqueline says, I paid by money order. Yeah, for the life of me, I have not figured out what a money order is. Is it not a check? So Jacqueline says you can buy money order at local post office. There's no post office anymore, not in my local area. What's money order? Is that American thing, or is it a British thing as well? I don't know. So it's not a check. Right, 327. And now even cash point you can't find anymore. Where you can get your maybe it's called ATM for the rest of the world. Yes, I haven't seen one for ages. Michelle says. Right. Lizzie says they had checkbooks in the 60s. So checks have been around for a little bit. All right, the next one is 315. Sarah says, I mailed a couple of my bills and cards and letters every month. Stamps are pricey. I bet because no one buys them. Sarah, you are single-handedly supporting the whole stamp industry. Thank you, Sarah, for your service. Yes, I mean, who is posting anything anyway nowadays? Joy says you can do black work 1/1 on even weave. Just make sure you know enough. Curse words. Yes. I'm sure there's no shortage of curse words you can use. Tony Tia says, check date back to 1659. Really? Checks. The concept of checks has been around for that long. 1600. With the first pre-printed check happening in 1750. So the idea of checks is basically, yes, it's kind of money, but it's a money you don't know whether it's there or not, isn't it? So it's not. It's kind of based on good faith, isn't it? Because checks is like, hey, this is the amount of money I want to give you, but it's a piece of paper essentially with numbers on it, and you don't know for sure if the money is actually there or not. You wouldn't be able to get away with that nowadays, right? So I think people back in those days, they're more trusting. They're just going, okay, then, you know, I'll just believe you until I don't. until it bounces or something, right? So this one I have done already. Whoa, hang on. Just that one. Right. And where am I? Lizzie says we do have a post office. It's a tiny part of a stationery store called Raymond's. Oh, Raymond's! Are they still around? I haven't seen one for forever. And yes, they do stationery and stuff like that. So it's doubled up as a post office. Yes, that was one of the sort of one of the things they kind of just start to merge together because the demand for post office is probably not as great. So they try to merge into other business like stationery shop and stuff like that. Yes, that does happen a lot. But it's quite shocking that our local one, that it's a really nice building and probably have been there for God knows for how long. I need to Google, but just disappeared overnight. Solar Wind says, I used to pay my bills in money orders. So is that different from checks? Money orders all the time. They're very much like a check, but better. You have to buy the money order, then you go and pay. Ah, okay. All right. So I was just talking about checks is kind of, you know, you pay based on good faith. The other person trusts that you have money in the bank. But money order, you actually have to purchase. So it's a little bit like vouchers, isn't it? So vouchers, you have to pay with real money, and that can be, you know, used as payments to exchange for goods. But money order, I think, is more versatile in that, more flexible in that sense that you can use it for whatever. So it's more secure, I think, because as I said, checks are basically going, okay, I believe that you have the money, all right then. Whereas you don't know really. But the thing is though, why do you need to, if you have to buy it with real money, why can't you just pay with real money? You know what I mean? If it's basically the same as cash, why don't you just pay with cash? I have questions. Clara says, I mailed our Christmas cards in December. Well done, Clara. Yes. I only have one friend left that actually posting real cards. And she's actually an American lady. So I don't know whether that has anything to do with anything. But otherwise, people don't really send cards anymore. One, two. Oh dear. 1, 2, 3, 4. Lizzie says, I remember writing my very first check and felt ever so grown up. Yes, I bet. Someone says, today money is just big number shoveling game, and we do not have enough physical money to cover what everybody says they're worth. It's a weird thing, isn't it? Because they are literally just numbers on your banking app. And it's, I can't remember the last time I saw physical money. I don't think I ever touched one for a few years. I vaguely know what money looks like nowadays. They look like, those notes look like toys. It's quite shocking. But other than that, why would you ever want cash? I don't know. That's why all the cash points disappeared as well. Because when do you ever need cash? And Lizzie says, I do not celebrate Christmas. Still got a card sent to me from America. Maybe the card culture is a little bit stronger in other countries. To be honest, over here, I don't know. Maybe just the people I know. I mean, not many people doing cards. All right, let me 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm doing a little bit of cross country, a little bit of parking when I feel like it. Freestyling. All right, 603. See you later, Solar Winds. Joy says, could I have anything to do with royal and snail mail? What is regarding? Car sending? This one's pretty short. I'm going to just do about 3 stitches. I'm going to end this. Nancy says, I hurt my wrist, so no cross stitch for me today. Diamond painting now. Yes, I mean, Nancy is a big diamond painter. Is that the term? As in cross stitcher. Diamond painter. You're a painter. I suppose it's easier for the wrist, isn't it? If you have hand injuries. Because you're just placing beads on a canvas. You don't need to make any sort of intricate move. And I hope it gets better soon. I mean, hand injuries are very frustrating for a stitcher, isn't it? I know some of you have operations or injuries or whatever. And particularly for the injuries on the dominant hand. Oh, very inconvenient. Joy says you send a Christmas card and it arrives in June. Slight exaggeration, but I get a point. Do you think Royal Mail is particularly slow? I don't know. There are different classes, first class, second class. But I don't know if it's particularly slow comparing to other countries' mailing system. But it must be in crisis, though. And I think they try to transition into other things, but because for a while they were delivering Amazon parcels as well. Because for a while I thought they're two separate delivery system. You know, you have Royal Mail, they do whatever normal mailing stuff, and then you have delivery services like Amazon or wherever. For a while, I think even now as well, quite a lot of parcels are delivered by Royal Mail. So maybe that's how they sort of survive, really. The thing is, it doesn't matter what it is, there's a lifespan, you know, to any kind of functions. Like banking, you know, if 20 years ago, if you say banks are going to disappear, you probably go, no way. I mean, they haven't disappeared. They just turn into digital form, you know, not physically on a high street anymore. Not really. All the banks disappeared. I'm trying to recall when was the last time I saw any physical banks, wherever it is. So on my high street, all the banks turn into burger shops, restaurants and bars. So Chelsea, you're doing your own pattern design, is it? I suppose it's probably quite relaxing because black work stitching, a lot of it, majority of the patterns that they're quite symmetrical. So it's all about kind of, I don't know, you probably have to have some sort of mathematical mind to be able to do it properly. So it's not freestyling, is it? You have to have a grand design for it. Six, 4, 7, 6, 4, 7. Joyce, that's harsh. Joyce says, I wouldn't know, but I've heard it referred to as royal snail. Royal snail. I don't know them to be particularly slow. I know it's not cheap. But then I have nothing to compare to. Lizzie says an old banking building where I live has been turned into a charity shop. Yes, even charity shop is more profitable than having a post office or bank. Yes. a majority of the high street banks, they normally have very nice buildings. You know, the Barclays down my street, when it used to be here, the building was beautiful, really old building. And now just turned into, I think it's a burger shop. I think it's 5 guys or 3 guys or whatever, how many guys, I don't know, a whole team of guys, burger shop. I mean, how many burger shops do you need for a high street? I don't know, clearly a lot. 603, it's a pink. 603. Oh, there you go, Chelsea. There you go, spot on. Chelsea says, I have a maths degree. There you go, exactly. You know, for me, I would never be able to design anything like that. My mind just go numb. Whereas there you go, Chelsea's got a maths degree. So that's how your brain works, you know, geometries and symmetries. Wendy says, stitch bingo. Which color, Wendy? The pink one? I'm stitching 603. Hey, Sharon. Sharon Parson is here. Wendy says 647. Was that the one I stitched before? So it's a relay bingo then. Was it the last one I did? I can't remember. 647. Oh, first spooky bingo, even though it's a relay bingo, spooky relay, goes to Wendy. Congratulations. It's the first one. For some reason, today is spooky bingo desert today. No one's stitching with Yogi the same color. Kristen says, if the banks turn into burger shops, does that mean the walk-in freezer is the bank vault? Walk-in freezer? Probably, yes. They just reuse the vault and, you know, pump some cold air into a walk-in freezer. Is that what they have in a burger shop? I know, they probably just reuse the same, you know, I don't know, cubicles. Oh, the one before that, Wendy. Yes, spooky bingo goes to Wendy. Miller, Cantwell, hello. We have a friend from, where is it? From Florida. Hello, Miller, welcome. Yes, not stitching, just watching. Yes, it's allowed. It's allowed. You don't have to stitch at the same time. Welcome. Florida, is it quite warm where it is? It sounds like it's always sunny. Then again, what do I know? Chelsea says an old bank near me was a toy shop. It was fun going in the vault and finding wooden toys. Oh, so they literally reuse the vault, because the vault would be at the back of the banks. I mean, you know, customers probably normally wouldn't be able to see it, but now it's turned into a toy shop. They probably have those. Yeah, I mean banks normally they're in really nice building, really old ones as well. Mila says, I stitch at 3 a.m. till I go to work. I don't like stitching at night, but that's at night. Either it's very early or very late. So Mila, what time do you get up then? If you stitch at 3 a.m. and then stitch till work time, I presume sometime in the morning. Let me end this one, this color over here. That's a pretty color. Let's have a look. Two over here. Okay, a few more colors, a few more stitches. I might take another strand of 603. 603. It's really pretty. Baby pink. Alison Rennie says most of our old traditional bank buildings, there were banks, even churches are now with spoons. There you go. Churches, yes. Where are they? I think that where I live, there's a local one. I don't know whether it's still functioning as a church, but it does have, you know, all the church features. You can imagine turning a church into a burger shop. That's a little bit sad. Weatherspoons. It's a kind of a church. The kind of church involves beers and lagers. Mila says, what size stitching are you working on? So this is 25 count even weave. And I'm working with DMC threads 1/1 full cross. Mila says, I got up at 2 a.m. this morning with a cup of coffee and listening to YouTube stitching channels like ours, huh? Mila, yes, wow. So you get up 2 a.m. What time do you go to bed then? So you go to bed early and get up super early, do your stitching, and then go to work. Wow. But late night stitching is, you know, or super early stitching is kind of quite relaxing, isn't it? When everybody's sleeping and you just peacefully stitching away. One, two. Mila says, I work with 18 count most of the time. The project I'm working on, 18 counts, lots of confetti. Yes, the confetti is the same. Doesn't matter what fabric count you're working on with the pattern. Yes, I wonder if larger stitches feel less confetti. I wonder. But ultimately, confetti is confetti. So Mila goes to bed around 10 p.m. and then you get up at 2 a.m. That's not a lot of sleep, is there, Mila? That's 4 hours. Mila, is that enough sleep for you? I wonder if Mila is one of the aliens that doesn't have to sleep. You know, alien stitches, you know those? No names. Sarah. Sarah's like, what have I done? What have I ever done for you? Ever done to you, Yogi? Okay, I think... 1, 2. Mila says, I have projects I started working on. It's on 25 counts. I'm not used to that, so I put in the side now. Yes, Mila, watch us, you know. Yogi stitches a lot of 25 counts and other counts as well. Mostly 25 counts, some 28 and some 14 as well. And, you know, if you want sort of tips on how to tackle even weave, you're in the right place. Oh, I think I need to switch a few stitches here. Sarah says, who, me? Who is talking about me? Yes, my ears are itchy. So I messed up a few stitches here, but I'm sure no one's going to notice because it's so confetti. Hush, hush, okay? Stay quiet. Keep it to yourself. Mila says, I stitch about 2 to 3 hours a day, and it takes me 1 month to finish a page. That's not bad at all. 2 to 3 hours is pretty good going. About the same amount of time I put into stitching as stitching, because I stream about maybe a little bit more, maybe 3 to 3.5 hours every day, and that's the main bulk of my stitching. Sometimes I have, you know, some time to stitch a little bit when I'm not streaming, but most of the stitching that I do, you're looking at it. Two. And here. What is going on with this area? 1, 2. Mila says, I'm doing 2 over 2. Oh, you're doing 2 over 2 on 25 counts. So essentially very similar to 14 counts, right? Four stitches, turning out nice, but stitching is so small. So it can't be 2 over 2 if you do 25, because if you do 2 over 2 stitches, it's about 14 counts. Do you mean 2 over 1? Yes, I think if you normally do 18 counts, 25 does feel quite small. But you can use to it. You just kind of need to get used to it. Give yourself some time. Mila says, I'm like Gemma Stitches, fast stitcher. Oh yeah, Gemma is fast. And do you do Gemma's method? I'm a big fan of Gemma's method. I'm currently doing a lot of color flow, Gemma's color flow. Yes, Gemma is not slow at all. I think, you know, maybe in the beginning, when if you're just starting off learning Gemma's method, maybe it's going to slow you down a little bit because you have to think about what you're doing. But once you're flowing, then you could be as fast as Gemma. Not me. I'm slow with all methods, but Gemma is not slow. One, two. Mila says, I've been stitching since 2000. So you've been stitching 25 years. My goodness. And Mila says, I watch her every day. Oh, we have a big fan of Gemma then. I'm a big fan as well. Yes. I just think Gemma is so original. I like that. And in our chat, we have a few Gemma's methods stitchers as well. And particularly recently, quite a few stitchers trying out color flow as well. So that's very nice. Today is definitely a cross-country day. See, a lot of times you come into, I come into a session with some plan in mind, you know, oh, this is what I'm going to do. And once you start stitching, my goodness, if it's not flowing, it's not flowing. So today I came in thinking I'm going to be doing block by block parking. As soon as I started stitching, I just knew it wasn't going to happen. Really weird. Mila says she's on her last pass for her project. Been watching since she got the peacock heading. Yes, I did watch I have not been able to watch the Stitch with Me because they're a little bit longer, but I did watch her latest, maybe the most recent sort of update. Yeah, she is at the bottom row, isn't she? And I don't think they're 4 pages, so they're a little bit shorter. And if I remember correctly, she's predicting May finish or something like that, which is, she even knows when she's going to finish, which is quite remarkable. Lynn says, I watched Gemma the other day, very fast, could not stitch that fast. Probably because she came up with the method, so it works perfectly well. For her, you know, way of you know, how her brain is working. And also, now she's doing color flow. I would say, I don't know whether she kind of, compare the two methods and to see which one may be a little bit faster. I suspect color flow is even faster for her because it's slightly faster for me. If I do the original method, it's a little bit slower, even though I still enjoy it. But currently, I'm just so in love with color flow. Every time I think about it, I want to, do it. Sarah says, I don't feel that Gemma is super fast. No, she's not alien fast, but she is fast for that method. Because that method, a lot of people go, well, I just, my stitching is kind of slowed down so much when I do Gemma's method, and they get frustrated. So Gemma is not alien tier fast, okay? But for the method, she's fast. She does about maybe 200, 250 per hour. That's not slow. That's slow for Sarah. Okay, Sarah, you're alien, so you cannot compare yourself to mere mortals. Okay, for mere mortals, Gemma is fast, and I love the way she stitches because she does 14 counts as well. So it feels really kind of satisfying, big stitches with 2 strands. That's why I love 14 counts from time to time because, there's something really meaty and chunky about 14 counts. That's good for your soul. It's soul food of stitching. Okay, if you haven't got a 14 count project, get one. It's soul food because you can't have fine dining every day. You need sort of, mommy's cooking, soul food from time to time. And for me, 14 count, particularly if I do Gemma's method, it feels like, oh, good stuff. 606. 606. Stitching is like food, because some people draw parallel with stitching, between stitching and relationship. They use terms like monogamous and whatever it is. But for me, stitching is like food. I want different food every day. And they're all delicious in their own ways. And I don't feel guilty switching menu, right? I have no, I don't want to eat the same thing every day. So 606 is an orange. And also eating is a daily activity. There's no end date. No one goes, well, by the time I finish 1,000 carrots, that will be end of my eating. No one says that. So there's no end date. It's just part of life, and you do it. That's it. I don't think about when will I be finishing eating. Oh, this one's a little bit stubborn. 606 does not want to leave my organizer for some reason. Here we go. Janine says, has anyone seen the Max Color Stitcher? Show the chart differences on Dragon Race. Oh. Mila says, still have 12 more pages to go. Just think about it. 12 more pages to enjoy, Enjoy it. 99 joys, 99. Sweet dreams. Do not dream about black work on 25 count, okay? Think about fluffy kittens and puppies. Mila says, I haven't done a 14 count over 20 years. Now it's about time, Mila. You know, highly recommended. A little bit of a variation is spice for life. It's medicine for everything. One, two, three. 1, 2, 3. Michelle says, I had my first try at color flow. I cannot get my head around and I can't get Saga to mark the part stitches. I follow your direction, but no. You gave it a go, right? And maybe sometimes it works like that. If you try something and it's just not flowing for the first time, you leave it, you know, no forcing. You don't have to do color flow, no obligation, right? Just leave it. And at some point, it might come back to you and go, hey, Michelle, I think you should give me another go, meaning the color flow. And maybe the next time when you try it, whenever it is, it's going to flow differently. It works like that. But if you don't enjoy it, you know, try something else. And I think if you have done Gemma's original method already, color flow makes sense, a lot more sense. But if you have not and dive straight into color flow, yeah, it would take some time. Even for me, you know, I have been doing Gemma's original method for a little bit. And when I started color flow, it feels like, what am I doing exactly? You know, where do I park? And where should I go next? But it's just a matter of doing it. Now I've done it, been doing it for a few weeks. It feels totally different. Now it's a lot more intuitive. And I really love it. You just need to give it some time sometimes. I'm going to park it down here. Oh, Clara says, speaking of kittens, where's Lily? Oh, Clara, hush, hush. Keep it to yourself, okay? Yes, yesterday, if you were here, you could literally, during the live stream, you could hear Lily crying, basically. And today, to be honest, Clara, same thing happened. And but it happened just briefly before the stream. So I have not heard anything at this point. I don't know whether he's going to come back and cry live here on Yogi's stream. But yeah. Oh, I think I heard something. Yes, he hasn't given up just yet, and I do not blame him. He's probably very confused, thinking, well, it was all going so well. What happened to Yogi? But I have to be persistent, you know, I have to be quite firm. Otherwise, I'm going to have to go through this process over and over again. Yes, my heart hurts. Mila says, color flow is you pick up one color at the top of your page and work it through. I go back up the top, pick the next color, work it through. You will be amazed how fast you get through that page. So Mila, your version of color flow is slightly different. Yes, I know what you're describing is more of almost typewriter. Whether you follow the symbols one by one, I don't know, but sounds like it's kind of cross country, but you're picking from the top. So yes, that's slightly different from Gemma's color flow, but I can imagine it's quite fun. So that's a little bit like what I'm doing, even though I don't always go to the top Depends on which direction you're moving towards. Yes, Sarah says typewriter method. That's my reading as well. See, Mila is doing typewriter method without knowing. Maybe not strict typewriter. Okay, typewriter, Mila, is basically, as you described with your method, picking color one by one. But typewriter, you literally picking one at a time in order. So you pick every time, you know, you finish your cross country and you come back to the next symbol and then come back to the next one, and so on and so forth. So your style is probably a bit more freestyling, but you do go back to the top and pick the highest stitch as much as possible. Janine says, felt bad for her. Janine, my heart is breaking. Okay, Janine. It's really bad because I have gone through this process with Lily multiple times throughout the years, from the moment I met her, because I met him, because I realized he was probably looking for a home. But, you know, it's just not working because he's so dominant and aggressive to other cats. And it's not fair for Dolly, because I have noticed Dolly's behavior changed and she became more withdrawal. And also, the other day, I didn't want to mention because I felt so bad for Dolly. She actually peed outside the litter box. She will only do that when she's anxious and nervous in some way. So I knew that was the day that I had to do something about Lily, because in my mind, I was willing to give it a little bit of time for those two to kind of get along in some way. But, you know, as soon as I noticed Dolly's behavior was changing, I had to stop everything. You know, I have to protect Dolly. So, yes. My heart hurts. Mila says, I'm only doing 20 by 20 section. Yes, it doesn't matter. You can do any kind of area. You can flow that way, the way you described. You know, doesn't matter how far. You can do it within 10 by 10. So, Karen Sutherland, hello, good morning. Yes, it's good morning over there in Caroline. Just taking a sip of my coffee. Oh. But I'm afraid Dolly comes first, and I have no choice. All right, the next color is 907. 907. So I do typewriter from time to time. Yesterday I tried to do a little bit as well, but the thing is, you know, it normally doesn't take very long before I start to stray from typewriter, because I probably just have issues following strict orders. I like the idea for doing typewriter, because particularly if you're starting a new piece and you want a very neat top border, right? Because sometimes if you start a piece from the top but you do cross country, you're going to end up with a lot of loose stitches on the top border that you have to go back and patch. The beauty of typewriter is that, you know, you're going to end up with a very neat top border. But normally for me, it doesn't last very long. And I think Stitching Mummy, right, she's the OG for typewriter method. I remember watching her demonstration, her tutorial for the method. She was doing pretty large piece as well, and she was hand stitching. So that's a lot going on there with that piece. But yeah, she was doing 10 stitches as well, if I remember. And yeah, but the thing is, when you do that, when you do like a whole piece like that, depends on how far you take each color, you can end up with a lot of crossing over with a thread at the back, right? I mean, ultimately you're doing cross country, but there might be occasions you have to take the threads quite far away. So I think she threads the thread under stitches because she flips her work over, because she's not working with a hoop or a frame. So it's easy to roll, just turn the work over. But if you're working from the top, it means that you have to think about the floating thread. That's going to, you know, you're going to end up with. So one stitch over here. Oh, this is the offending stitch. I'm gonna fudge it, okay? Live here on Yogi Stream, right in front of your eyes. I'm fudging it. Yes, I'm proud. I'm fudging and I'm proud. And just one more stitch here. So I think I'm not really doing short distance cross country because I'm kind of moving a little bit further, mid distance, not quite long distance, but mid distance cross country. Look, I'm floating about 3-4 blocks away. Lynn says, Yogi, perhaps the cat protection will perhaps neuter Lily and let you have him back. It will give him a home. Well, the issue is, I thought about it, you know, I was thinking about maybe neutering is going to help the situation. The only issue is there's no guarantee, because I think Lily, from what I know of him, he is a lot more aggressive than most cats that I know. He's very, very sweet with me. He loves me, but there's no guarantee that he's going to mellow. And I'm thinking about Dolly primarily. I feel like I cannot compromise the quality of her life because, you know, I'm trying to get a new cat. So I have to, you know, I have to think about it, because it's not, I have adopted quite a few cats, stray cats and feral cats in the past from the garden. They literally, you know, when a cat wants you, they literally just appear right in front of you every day. And I have adopted at least 3 cats in the past like that. And it worked because those cats are a lot more accommodating. They come into a new environment. They actually a lot more withdrawn than, you know, the residents already in the house. They respect the boundary. So those ones work. With Lily, it's the opposite. He will literally come in and hiss at Dolly, even though Dolly lives here. So that's the difference. Otherwise, I would have liked to make it work, really. 907. But the thing is, though, Lily has been around for a long time in this neighborhood, and he's always been very well fed whenever I see him. So he's probably got, you know, quite a few houses that he can go to, and he's very resourceful and really strong. So see you later, Sarah. 99. Our alien captain. Mila says, good night. Been up for 16 hours. Time to sleep. Yes, Mila will have to get up early for morning stitching. So see you later, Mila. It's great to have you. Jeanine says, Dolly does have to come first. Absolutely. Yes, I think it was when, because, you know, previous few days, I was kind of experimenting, you know, watching the situation. But as soon as Dolly started to behave differently, I just knew I had to call it a day. It's just not fair to Dolly. All right, so there are quite a few ninja stitches here. Just one stitch, 6, 4, 7, 6, 4, 7. Hey, Solar Winds. Alison says if Lily is a stray cat, cat protection can trap him and find him a lovely home. I think he had been trapped by RSPCA during COVID because I saw a kind of paper color left on his neck at one point. And I don't know what they did for him. I think maybe he had a checkup. And so they left a code to say this cat has been checked for something. I can't remember. I don't know. I suppose they could do that. But the problem with those charity places, you know, they have limited space. I don't know. They probably pick and choose who they try to kind of take back and find homes for. I think for Lily, it will be challenging. I don't know. I don't know for sure. But I'm just hoping that Lily, because just because they're out there being feral, it doesn't mean they're less happy. Okay, life is a little bit more risky, but they have their freedom. A lot of cats, you know, you could capture them, keep them in cages for months on end till they find a home. For them, it's actually quite cruel if you think about it. If they're used to be out there and be free. There's a local charity where I am. What they do is they will capture the cats and neuter them, male or female, and so they don't produce unwanted, kittens, you know. And I'm sure every country probably have different ideas about that, but this is what they do here. And then after that, they release them back to their natural environment. So some of them they do keep. So I don't know what rules they have in terms of who they keep and who they don't. Maybe they keep the ones that need more medical attention. I don't know. But Lily is actually doing really well. I've seen him around for quite a few years and he's very strong. Very strong. So I like to think he's happy every day, you know. He's not happy at the moment because he's thinking, Yogi, you know, what's happening between us? But 6, 4, 7. But we've gone through this process before and he got over it and he moved on, you know. Alison says he may be chipped and missing from somewhere. I doubt very much because he's been captured before by RSPCA, as I said. If he was chipped, they would have found him, his owner, already. Jody say, I'm back for the last bit. Almost done with work. Well done, Jody. Yes, we have a little bit to go for you. And today we're so focused. We didn't even have chocolate break. Oh, there you go. That's the concentration Yogi has and the chat. Here we go. 898. 898. So this bit is a little bit confetti. Normally, I kind of, you know, try to avoid it and come back later, try to delay the confetti, but I'm doing my best to go back, keep going back and fill in these loose stitches. 898. Because I don't want to leave a whole bunch of stitches like these ones, you know. 898. Jody says, usually I can't write code and listen to you, but today I have to focus more on my workflow. Oh, yes, I suppose if you're working on something like a code writing, programming and stuff like that, you do need a little bit of concentration. So normally, if I do design, I can listen to things because I think we're probably working on different using different parts of the brain, right? When it comes to creativity, I can still focus on speech, whereas I think if you're doing mathematical or programming stuff, you need undivided attention to things. I'm guessing. I'm not a programmer, so. Here we go. Just 2 stitches. Eight, 9, 8, 8, 9, 8. Have a sip of my coffee here. Jody says, I'm so good at writing JavaScript, Yogi. I can listen to you. Today are too complicated. I need all 3 screens to do it. Oh, so Jody is writing JavaScript. Yes. Yes, when I was working as a designer, I'm surrounded by programmers. I'm surrounded by technical people like Jody. Jody's a JavaScript engineer. I built enterprise level front end applications. Dun, Jody. You and me, we're kind of in the same industry. Not right now. Now I teach yoga. But I'm very familiar with the IT environment. Yes, it's JavaScript is more front-end scripting, programming. With Java and whatever else nowadays, it's more back-end, isn't it? SolarWind says, I'm retired from the IT business. Well, quite a lot of IT people in the chat. Joyce as well. Joyce is going to bed. Joyce was an IT person as well. So, there are all sorts. And we have doctors and nurses. And who else have we got? We got all sorts of people from all sort of a profession. And we have a legal person as well. I think it was, I'm trying to remember. Was it Betty? Who was a legal, BLT, yes. I think, who was, I don't know whether she still is working in the legal realm as well. We have people from all directions. We have Kristen. Kristen is a neuro psychologist or psychiatrist, something like that, therapist. So, Kristen, if you're there, you can correct me. I butcher people's names and professions. Jody says Java is backend, although I could probably do backend as well. We're all sort of mix groups, and lots of us are gamers. Oh yes, Jody. Yeah, we probably talked about this, right? This group, a lot of techies, a lot of gamers. We have a lot of gamers, a lot of nerds, really. And I'm a gamer as well. I will classify myself as one. I've been playing games since I was a kid because my dad was a gamer and he always finds excuses to buy all sorts of consoles and because he wanted to play. So we grew up with a lot of computers and a lot of consoles. And we also have a lot of true crime fans as well. So this group is full of, lots of fun, tons of things to talk about. Because a few streams we talked about games, didn't we? I was surprised to find how many gamers we've got here. Jody says, Yogi, your memory sounds like we're all missing an astronaut. Yes, we probably have an astronaut somewhere here, maybe working for SpaceX. We're still lurking, And Michelle says, accounting is my background. See, we've got all sorts. We can probably all come together and build some sort of spaceship together. I'll design our, the external. I'll paint it. Janine says, my brother programs, and when I see him doing it, I'm like, why on earth do you think it's fun? Programming, yes, I'm with you. I can see the fun of programming because it's all about if this, then that, that kind of stuff. And I can't program to save my life. My program goes as far as HTML, okay? It's not programming, it's more coding. But there's some elements of programming things, you can easily vary into not so much writing scripts, but I can probably reverse engineer some scripts because I just look at the structure and go, oh, if I tweak this, then this will probably happen. So I do not write scripts, but I can probably work with it, but within a limit. So that's as far as my programming thing goes. And but I can see the fun of that because you're trying to make something work, to do something, isn't it? It's quite fun to do. Ricky Tiki, hello, welcome back. Kristen is there saying neuropsychologist. Okay, yes, correction, I'm close enough though, Kristen. I got a neuro part correct. Yes. I don't know whether there's such a thing as neuropsychiatrist, psychologist. Yes, we have all, people with very diverse skills. And Heather is here. Hello from Australia. Says, hello, Stitchy friends. Just here briefly on a break from work. Oh, Heather, are you working right now? Work club emoji for Heather. And loving the progress on the beautiful flowers. I know this bit is very confetti. So I've been sort of switching back and forth different ways of doing it. And today I came in thinking I was doing block by block parking and see what happens here. I'm just flowing, going with the flow. Solar says, I was just an asset manager. There's no such a thing as just, okay? Solar Winds was an asset manager, not a brainiac like Yogi and Jody. I'm not braining at all. Not brainy. No brain. Just have to chase. Jody is a lot smarter. And yes, asset manager. Yes, we have different skills. And I think we have Jody. Not Jody, Janine. Janine, remind me. Janine works at Walmart or something. Is it Amazon? I can't remember. Yes. I probably run out of memory slot in my brain. Janine says, programming reminds me of maths homework, high school. Problem solving nightmares. Maths just makes no sense with me. I was, nightmare student. at school when it comes to maths, language, and also, you know, kind of story-based information. Like history, I can just about handle, but it's probably just a lack of interest. You know, I'm not interested in the past. I'm more interested in the future. But I like practical things that I can use on the spot. Anything that's theory based, you just lose me. So, yes, we have many stitchers from work club. You know, Busy Mom is one of them. And Busy Mom is very talented as well. Busy Mom, what is going on with the Etsy shop? I remember Busy Mom says she's starting an Etsy shop, and Busy Mom, of course, is a floss tuber as well. So we have floss tubers here, quite a few, and everybody's doing different things. And Chelsea's designing blackwork patterns, I ask you. And every time, if I just throw a question out, like random question, not even about stitching, someone somewhere knows, like history or anything, general knowledge, someone somewhere in the chat knows. It's astonishing. It's astonishing. I'm going to pick one more color here. Why don't I do a pink? Pink looks very delicious. 3609. 3609. And this might be 3609. Yes, baby pink. Lovely. Jody says I might be smart but terribly moody. Well, you can't have everything, can you? And childish as well. Hey, it's better you said it than me. I wouldn't know. Susan Bond says I work as 911 dispatcher and also work in jail for 27 years. There you go. That's the true crime element comes in. Susan Bond will be our expert in that field. Yes, I remember we talked about that, didn't we? 911 dispatcher. Wow. Because 911 dispatcher is fascinating because they're not just there to pick up information and pass it on. Because I have seen, you know, what as a true crime person, you know, not committing crime, okay, watching, but there's so many calls I've listened to. Those dispatchers, they have a lot of medical knowledge as well. Like they have to instruct someone who's in the panic how to perform CPR, for instance. You know, having that knowledge and be able to make judgment calls and for them to perform certain things to keep someone alive. So I don't know what kind of training or qualification is required. It's almost veering into medical, you know, and also you have to be so calm and collected. Because if I listen to someone panicking on the phone, I'll just panic with them. I'll just go, oh my God. And sometimes, you know, it can be a very serious situation. So you have to be very, very, very calm. I'm fascinated. I work in jail as well. That's another, you know, probably full of stories. My goodness. Let me come up here. 2 more stitches here. Janine, yes, Janine works at Walmart. No? Janine's husband. Oh, yeah, that's right. The husband loves to live in Walmart. But I remember you told me you work somewhere. Okay, so Janine says, it's all jumbled up in Yogi's head. Janine says, I'm a room division manager. I also manage at the front desk of Busy. That's right, vacation timeshare resort. Yes, in a resort. Yes, not Amazon. It sounds a lot more fun than Amazon. I remember now, yes. Janine's talking about working in a resort. Probably a husband would be fantasizing, for Janine to work at Walmart because maybe a discount. Busy Mom says, I actually opened it up this last weekend on my Etsy shop. Busy Mom, what products have you got? Maybe post a link on Facebook group so we know where to go. And I think Busy Mom is doing a lot of sewing and stuff, handmade stuff. Karen Sutherland says, I'm pediatric, whoa, I can't even say it, palliative care, social worker. Wow. So it's in the medical field as well. That's got to be demanding. Yeah, so you have to be emotionally very strong as well, don't you? Absolutely. Yes, we have all skills here. Michelle Fuller says, someone in the chat does work part-time at Walmart. Yes, I can't remember who it was. Probably get discount. Oh, Janine's husband is so envious. Busy Mom says, right now I have a project bags and baby Burbs clothes. Wonderful. Project bags will be quite handy for stitches. Cheryl says, I got a degree to change diapers. I'm a nurse. What is that? As a nurse? I'm a NICU RN. I don't know what that is. Yes, that's special degree to change nappies. I wouldn't know how to do it, so I'm sure some sort of training, course will be required. Wow, that's gotta be very demanding, Karen. I mean, particularly with children as well. Yes. Betty, hang on. Betty Hankins says, a random thing when I was a plumber. Yes, I remember now, you're a plumber. And run the water under the houses. I wrote my company name on the floor, joist, and the date I run the water. I wonder about that sometimes. Oh, it's like a signature that you left there. It's like Betty was here type of thing. Yeah, some tailors do that, don't they? Some sort of, people making garments, sometimes they write their names or messages on the inside of the fabric where no one can see. And you only discover it if it's broken somehow or, torn, or maybe you try to deconstruct the garment, then you find the writing on the inside. And I remember watching, I don't know if it's whether that was a prototype or actual machines made for customers. I remember watching this thing from Apple earlier days when Steve Jobs was still there. I think maybe the first machine the first maybe prototype of one of their computers. They have all engineers, their signatures written inside on the motherboard. But no one ever discover unless you take it apart. I think any kind of environment working with children is very, very demanding, isn't it? Particularly when it comes to medical care. Where am I here? 222. Two. I totally lost my way. 2. Okay, I've done these ones. And then I've got a few more here. Luckily, it's all flower. It's all, you know, very confetti, so I can't tell the difference if I make mistakes. Busy Mom said, I've just posted a link on Yogi's group. Yes, definitely. Be very curious to see what Busy Mom's got there. And I think Busy Mom made all the project bags, right? Michelle Fuller says, I have an Etsy shop also. It's all wool. We dye. Oh, definitely. Wow. I didn't know that, Michelle. You kept that quiet. Yes, please post a link on the Facebook group as well. You know, you never know. It's quite nice to buy from people stitchers that you know. Because Etsy is quite random, isn't it? So word of mouth is kind of important. Everything is handmade. Lovely. All right then. So it's 11 minutes past midnight. You see all the chat that's going on. We didn't even have chocolate break. Time just flew by. So I am going to make the final couple of stitches and I'll give you a summary, a recap of what's happening today. All right. Let me just do this one more and I'm going to park to the next spot. Here we go. There. So today, guys, this piece I've been working on today is by Ciro Marchetti. It's called a Patchwork Quilt Room. So I have quite a few pieces that's got like quilt room, craft room, stitching room, whatever. It's just comfort stitching, right? And let me just switch back to this view so you can see. And so today I'm focusing on this flower bouquet area, this basket area. And I've been working on this area for a little bit, but even though this is a mini version, it's actually quite confetti for this piece. And you can see why, because the stained glass in the back, a lot of color changes, and this bit is, you know, no surprise there. And I started off trying to do block by block parking, but somehow just ended up doing cross country, and good fun. You know, I try not to fight with my whip and try to, you know, try not to sort of impose any way of stitching. If it flows, you know, if I feel like cross country, then that's just what it is. So I think, I have no idea. I think cross country may be a little bit faster, but who knows? And so I am going to show you. Let me show you the marker first, okay? If you haven't seen it, nice and big here. It's gorgeous, isn't it? and the color scheme is just to die for. If you like colors, this is a piece for you. And this is a mini as well, but it captures, you know, all the details you need. Guys, have you noticed? I wouldn't blame you if you have not noticed. Look to the bottom right there on the table. What do you see, guys? Hey, there's a sleepy little creature there. You know, sometimes, because there's quite a lot going on with this piece, sometimes you could kind of not notice. With Ciro Marchetti's piece, for some reason, I'm sure he's a cat lover. He's got these little kittens lying, sleeping everywhere, with quite a few pieces. So can you see there's a little kitten there, sleeping nice and sound? So yes, I can't wait to get there. It's going to take a little while. And let me show you my app here. And of course, you want to know how many stitches I made today. I want to know too. So here we go. So let me just zoom out a little bit so you can see where I am in relation to the entire piece. And this piece I actually have been working on for a little while and have made pretty good progress. So let's go. I'm going to count down to 3, 2, and 1. There you go. Oh, not bad actually. Let me just pause the timer here. So the grand total of the stitches the Yogi has made today is 238, which is not 400, but not bad at all, is it? I think mini cross country might, you know, if I want speed, then it might be the thing, but it's also depending on how confetti it is. It's semi-confetti. It's not the worst confetti I've seen today, but it's got, you know, it's not sort of easy, super easy going either. So I think I'm not doing too bad at all. 238, and the percentage today I've got at this point is 21.61. So I'm way over to 21%. I'm very, very happy. Very, very happy. And yes, round of applause for Yogi. Yay! You know, any stitch count that's over 60, I'm happy. So I've done it. Yay! So thank you everyone for joining me. So yes, it's Thursday today. Technically we're on Friday. So Friday evening, just in case you don't know, we have a few new joiners. Friday start is a little bit later. Okay. Provided there's no sort of emergency classes I have to cover. Sometimes Friday night there are more sort of events happening. Sometimes I have to step in and cover classes. But if not, tomorrow we're going to come back a little bit later time, and we're going to come to a nice cozy spot of stitching and chat as well with all the talented people in the chat here. And so from the sleepy London town, now it's 16 past 12 midnight. Yogi signing out. Love you all, guys. It's a joy, you know, stitching with you every day, and I hope you enjoy your stitching as well. And we're coming back tomorrow for another spot of stitching. Until then, nighty night, and enjoy the rest of the day or night. See you tomorrow.